Fetal development is an orderly and intricate process. It begins with the race of survival between hundreds of millions of sperm in which one of them will survive. The race ends when one of the sperms reach the egg and the remaining ones will die off. Between conception and delivery, there are 3 stages of fetal development: germinal, embryonic, and fetal. Germinal stage. The germinal stage is the shortest stage of fetal development. It begins at conception when a sperm and egg join in your fallopian tube. The sperm fertilizes the egg and creates a zygote. The zygote begins its journey down to your uterus over the course of about 1 week. During this journey, the zygote divides many times, eventually creating 2 separate structures. One structure eventually becomes the embryo, and later, the fetus, and the other becomes the placenta. Cell division continues at a rapid pace. Eventually, the zygote turns into a blastocyst. The blastocyst arrives at your uterus and implants into your uterine lining. If implantation is successful, your body immediately begins producing hormones to support a pregnancy. This also stops your menstrual period. Embryonic stage. The embryonic stage lasts from about the 3rd week of pregnancy until the end of the 8th week of pregnancy. The blastocyst begins to take on distinct human characteristics. It's now called an embryo. Structures and organs like the neural tube, which later becomes the brain and spinal cord, head, eyes, mouth, and limbs form. The cells that will form the fetal heart begin to cluster around 5 to 6 weeks and can pulse. Buds that will become arms and legs also form around the 6th week. By the end of the 8th week, most of the embryo's organs and systems take shape. For a lot of people, this is the point in pregnancy where morning sickness begins. Fetal stage. The fetal stage of development begins around the 9th week and lasts until birth. This is when the embryo officially turns into a fetus. The fetus gets its assigned sex around 9 weeks of pregnancy, although your healthcare provider can't detect it on ultrasound yet. The fetus's major organs and body systems continue to grow and mature. Things like fingernails, eyelashes, and hair also grow. The fetus is able to move its limbs, although you may not feel it until 20 weeks of pregnancy. The majority of growth, in both weight and length, happens in the fetal stage.